Any questions?
The first one was the Mahim Mela.
Yeah, of course. It's still there. It just started a few days ago. We shot this last year.
Yeah. What made you think of this type of?
तो ये मेला जो मेरे घर आई लिव इन माहिम
Yeah.
तो मेरे घर के पास ही लगता है मेला एंड आई ऑलवेज वांटेड टू शूट इनसाइड अ मेला बिकॉज इट्स सो ब्यूटीफुली लिव्ड एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी डिडंट हैव एनी परमिशन फ्रॉम व्हाटसोएवर हमने कैसे भी 3-4 दिन लगाकर ये फिल्म पूरी शूट करी एंड या you can finally see it now. It's going to release very soon on YouTube, hopefully this month. Yeah. And yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. So I wanted to ask how exactly did the concept actually come into your mind? Like, the Mela was obviously there, but to actually shoot every scene in a certain way to get out a certain message, how all that exactly works in your mind and how actually you wanted to get into something like this?
So, like everyone else, I was also a science student till 12th standard. But then उसके बाद I decided कि यार मेरे से I don't think so यार continue and I was always interested in watching films and writing stuff. और उसके बाद I joined BMM. I did 3 years of BMM. After that I got into advertising. I joined a production house, worked on many ad films. Okay. But I was also writing at the same time. And then while writing and while working, I started pitching my work to some production houses. I started getting good response for my stories, and I met a lot of people. And eventually, I signed a contract with Clean Slate Films for director Prosit Ron, which is owned by Anushka Sharma. And so we finished that film, but only writing, but got shelved because of COVID. And then after that, I think, I wrote one more script which is we just finished writing and should go on floor next year, hopefully. Yeah, but then I mean, there is no certain way of going. If I do this and that, I think you just have to dive into it. And once you read, and then probably you find your own tribe, and you meet people who are likewise. And I think you just after that it is. Practically guides you yourself, but of course, lot of hard work, lot of writing, which is painful. Yeah.
So how much time does it take to make even a 19-minute का short film? Like we see the 2 hours long films.
हाँ, so this process, so मुझे एक मेला लगने के 15 दिन पहले पता चला कि मेला लगने वाला है, and then we and my friends got cracking, idea को सोचते हैं, and then I came up with this idea of a pickpocket because मेले में जब भी जाते हैं that's the only thing as kids we want कि अपना wallet और purse संभालना, and from there once I had a script and my producer Keshav Naidu is also a co-writer, we write together, we've also written this together. We sent it out to few actor friends and casting directors, and we were very lucky to get Ami Aziz, who's, I don't know if you guys know him, you should follow him on Instagram. He's a poet and an actor now. He was there in Homebound, taking a very small part in Homebound. And the actress is Bhumika Meena, and she's also a great performer. She's worked in the Chidiya Ude, I don't know if you've seen that series. So that's, and rest of the cast followed through and they all loved the script. But the challenge here was that it was not a regular shoot. We did not have any permission whatsoever. So it was very important that the actors also come on board with us for this ride. It's actually an experiment, During the shoot, I realized that maybe my DOP will run away or my actors will run away and say because we were stopped. Our shooting was stopped several times. तो हम ये एंड से निकलते हैं उस एंड से वापस मेले में आ जाते हैं, then we shoot that scene there. So every one of us had the scenes in our head well sketched out clearly, and we all did our part wonderfully. I guess it shows. I hope this projection would have been a little better because a lot of otherwise I think you can watch it on YouTube later. Anything else?
I had a question like when you write these kind of films, it is very important that you put yourself into the perspective of the protagonist. So there is a challenge while writing such things. So how do you manage to tackle that?
I mean, we've all know pickpockets. Yeah, we've all experienced them. You know, in the train में यहाँ वहाँ बहुत जगह, and we've seen them उनको मार खाते हुए, बहुत बुरी तरह पिटते भी हैं तो पकड़े जाते हैं. So that I mean, I'm always curious. Stealing something is a very strange thing to do. And now when a person like that, अगर उसको एक मौका मिलता है in life to do something good, and by stealing someone's death and saving a life. So will that person change after such an experience? Because this is also a feature film idea. This is like a proof of concept, and we also have a feature film based on this, which we are trying to pitch to OTTs and stuff. We've already got an offer from an OTT. Most probably go with that. But like you said, you have to be in the character of this. You do some little research, and like this character is named Munna, and Munna Pakitman is a very famous character from mine. So I named it after him, and I think the actors did the part.
Hi sir. I wanted to ask how many, out of all of the work that you've done, what has moved you as a person, that has touched you very deeply?
I think this one, because I did a short film long back when I was in college, which won at IFFI in 2004. I was still in college back then. And I've been writing feature films and series, and you get so, once you start working in the industry, you have no time, to do your own thing. Being a writer and director is always doing your own stuff, Nobody is going to give me crores of rupees to make your film easily. So that was always on my mind. I've been writing for a while, and I said, enough, now I want to direct. And this is the plunge that we took. And that's near my house. I had few friends who were, could pull some strings here and there, but kuch kaam nahi aaya eventually. We had to finish the film there and then, and luckily the team was on my side, so it was possible. But I think this has been the most exhilarating experience for me. Going out to a place where you know कि कुछ भी हो सकता है, and then you shoot something and you come back, and that's, I think it's a beautiful experience. Thank you so much.
Sir,
Yes.
I have one question about film in general. So sometimes we have an abstract emotion or a vision that is in a form of emotion that we want to lay out in a film. So how do you convey it? Or show
An
it?
abstract emotion.
Yeah.
I think there is no certain way for doing anything. Okay. You'll have to figure it out on your own through photography, through observing people, capturing stuff randomly. Try and put it all together and see if there's meaning coming. If there's a certain meaning that's flowing through that edit, So it's all about experimenting here. Since it's abstract, so it has to be experimental. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello sir, I wanted to ask a question. So which is your favorite genre of writing films?
I like horror, sci-fi, all of that.
So this is like a complete different genre.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So genre होते हैं favorites,
Favorite.
but that doesn't mean that I will only make those genres. It's a story that decides everything. And since this was a मेले के अंदर horror story करने के लिए I will need more control. Yeah, so I do not have control. So,
I really like the message that you put through it. Like kindness is really injurious, and you
Yes,
don't know that unknowingly you might help someone so much and impact their lives.
yeah,
And
so
I loved it.
I've had weird comments coming from people. It's like, ये तो चोर है, इसको आपने hero बना दिया. I said चोर है because of certain circumstances in his life. You do not judge a person because of that. ठीक है, गलत काम कर रहा है वो, but when he saves a life, I think उससे बड़ा और कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Thank you.
Sir, I wanted to ask about I'm a writer myself, and I like to write about the stories of people who aren't talked about enough. So, but that often involves talking about taboo topics. तो I was wondering कि अगर हम लोग common people के लिए एक film बना रहे हैं, what is a like good way to skirt the taboo but talk about it in an artistic way?
I mean, find creative ways to talk about taboo subjects. You know, you can all if you see some of the films from countries like Iran or other places, they are not allowed to make. I mean, there's a lot of restriction to make films. But if you see their films, पूरा आपका पूरा emotion and message convey होता है without even talking about the taboo things. Like you'll be there and you talk about things that are around it, how that taboo is affecting people without talking about it. So there are many ways. I think you should watch Iranian cinema. That will give you an idea of how to do taboo subjects, which are a thing we are also started to follow now in India. A lot of restrictions are there in place. The kind of subjects that we do, the kind of stories that you tell. So I think Iranian cinema is a great inspiration for that.
So have you worked on something similar other than this film?
I worked on ad films, a lot of ad films. I'm from advertising background, so a lot of ad films. But yeah, I recently, like I said, did a feature film for Hitesh Kevalia. It's called Shorgul. Hopefully it should go early next year. Yeah.
Okay, sir. We'll look out for that.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Anything else?
So I actually have a lot of ideas when we write. They are kind of raw ideas that I have in my mind. I write as well, but I write something more poetic or something that is more personal. But how do we take up the same thing and turn it into something that we can actually show to people rather than just being something personal, making it more relatable? Like the raw ideas but turning it into something like relatable art. How do you exactly
So
do that?
always remember one thing, something that is personal is only related. Always remember that. Don't think कि मेरे दिमाग में ये चल रहा है दुनिया समझ पाएगी कि नहीं. No, we need that. That is what all the successful films or poetry or music videos, anything that you see, they are all personal, all the good stuff. Yeah. So don't feel shy, figure out a way to, if it's a poem, juxtapose it with images and videos. And Instagram, I think, offers you a lot of tools here nowadays. So you just have to make that poetry and just send it out. Yeah.
So, can you give some tips or insights for aspiring writers? Like, how do we start writing? Like, any websites or blog channels that we can publish our own blogs?
Yeah, I mean, when I was writing back then, there were certain blogs that I used to follow, but वो आज है नहीं, I guess, आज की तारीख में. But yeah, I think just for reading, of course, a lot of reading, definitely. And the resources, you'll have to Google it, because I mean now, what's there recent, I have no idea, because I've already read so much. There are many books you can read on writing. Try Bird by Bird. Try reading Bird by Bird. It's amazing. It will teach you the art of writing and living a life as a writer.
Sir, as you said, you are from the advertisement background as well. So, my question is, which is harder to make, an ad or a film? I mean, ad में it is like you have a very limited amount of time and you have to convey a particular specific message. While film, you can extend the time.
So both are very different formats. So 30-second में आपको पूरी कहानी बताना है and you have to sell the product also. तो उसमें भी 10 seconds उसमें जाएंगे. There are some guidelines to follow to do that. Of course, 30 seconds is difficult, but then at the end of the day, you're selling something. उसमें you're not putting something that is personal of yours. It's a job, you've taken it up. There are actors, there are clients, there are agencies involved. But film is a very personal thing. Unless and until it's an out-and-out commercial, being commissioned by a producer, के पास एक idea है, and he's commissioned it, so then that becomes a different film. But if it comes from a writer or a director, then that is very personal, and it takes years to make a film. Minimum 2 to 3 years, minimum. And ad films are commissioned, so that way it's shorter, quicker, good money, but no satisfaction. This is why which I actually wanted to do was to eventually make films. But I thought कि यार how do I tell my parents I want to be a director? They said कि यार तू रास्ते पे बैठ जाएगा कुछ भी हो जाए. So I was like कि नहीं, I want to go advertising. But then after years of working in advertising, doing music videos and ad films, and eventually वो जो अंदर की आवाज़ है, you cannot stop that. So it's better if you address that earlier than later. And yeah, making a film is very satisfying. Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much.